to another live stream. Um, I'm here to give you all another update on Invest 97L. We have Invest 97L over in the Western Caribbean, and don't we have something to watch here in the Gulf. We do have something to watch in the Gulf. This is as of right now. Here's our visible satellite view of Invest 97L. See, thunderstorms are starting to explode around it. We don't have a clear center of this of the Invest 97L yet, but I've by looking at the latest um by on the latest hold on, I'll be right back. By looking at the latest by looking at the latest satellite views, the visible satellite, I'm seeing thunderstorm development across the area, and this is really starting to organize really well right now. We've got, I think the center could develop just north of Haiti and those areas there, approaching the Cuba area later tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's a visible satellite, their latest 30 frame loop. You can see almost a clear circulation starting to develop right somewhere in there. Um, It's just a hurricane cannot get ruled out with this system as it organizes and develops. Here's your water vapor loop right here. You can see we have a we have clear circulation starting to form. We're starting to see a center could start to develop tonight. We're starting to see thunderstorms development across the center right now, across where the where we think the center might go. Um, as of right now, it's not a named storm, but this thing could get named as early as tomorrow morning and through the weekend of this weekend. So if you're in Florida, I would really keep an eye on this system as it treks off to the north and west. There's two different areas. There's whole lot of areas this thing could do. What potential Debbie could do, Hurricane Debbie could do. Um, what this thing could do, it could ride along, hit Florida, and track off into the eastern eastern Atlantic. Like, so let's say it goes like this, it could track and head into the eastern Atlantic. That's that's one track it could do. Another track, it heads toward this area, it heads over here, and tracks somewhere like that, and it could come back around. And it could come back around and stall and come back into the Gulf and re-intensify the hurricane again. It's another thing it could do. And my last thing to say about this is, yes, they just up and yeah, we got an update now from the National Hurricane Center. They high overall chance is a high risk now, so they've got a higher indications that this thing could develop in the next 7 days, a 70% chance. The next 2 days they upped that from a 20 to 30% chance now. So starting to become even more likely that we're gonna have tropical storm Debbie or Hurricane Debbie this weekend and early next week throughout that. So we definitely do have um, a potential hurricane on the horizon here. Um, I would say I would say if you're the Louisiana Gulf Coast all the way down toward Florida, and then as well as the Carolina Gulf Coast and Georgia coast, really keep an eye on this as well. Um, Texas, I wouldn't rule out nothing there either, but I think it's too far to the east that it hits Texas. But I say New Orleans area, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Biloxi, Mississippi, the Alabama, Mobile area. Really keep an eye on this, the progression of the system. The system could really rapidly intensify. We saw that with Beryl a few months ago or a month ago with Beryl coming through. So we have to keep an eye on this. Later, I went over the satellites. Now let's go to the models and show you what the models are doing. And guys, the models are really, really, they're not struggling, but I think the GFS model is doing a really good indication on what potential Debby could look like. So I'm gonna show y'all what the 0Z model did yesterday. Okay, go back to yesterday's model run, the 0Z, and I'm gonna go back into yesterday, and I'm gonna show y'all what the GFS has it doing. So the yesterday's model GFS has it right here on the 8th of on the 8th of August. It has a 994. That's a strong tropical storm as of that in 994. But as we go into the 986, that's a Category 1 hurricane, a strong Category 1 hurricane. See how it's approaching, as it approaches the Florida Peninsula, as well as the Biloxi and Mobile area of Mississippi and Alabama. Now look what this thing does. It has it landfalling at 981 hurricane. That is a strong Cat 2 as it approaches landfall. And you see what it does as it makes landfall. As a 986, it starts weakening a little bit. But see what it does. It stalls. This is what I was telling. This is what I'm gonna go over why I think it could stall. See, 0Z has it stalling right over southern Alabama and the western Panhandle of Florida. There's a potential that could happen again. There's a potential it could happen. I mean, it's way out of the realm possibilities. We don't know that's not a likelihood right now, but as of right now, I think this thing could stall because I'll tell y'all why I think this thing could stall um, later on in the live stream. Um, Here's the 0Z from today. The 0Z from today, you see there's potential Debby, likely to be Debby, 982 Cat 2 hurricane. That will, I mean, Cat lower end, middle end, Cat 2. Anyways, there's Debby right there, potential to be likely to be Debby. And look at his stalls right over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. That's a 976, 970 hurricane. That's a strong Cat 2 there. Um, and see how it stalls. It just sits there for a few days. And now it's a cat or now it's a Cat 4 hurricane, a strong end Cat 4 approaching Cat 5 strength. Um, and then as you see here at 948, 949, and then it starts to gain weakening a little bit as it hits southern Mississippi. And man, I wouldn't rule out New Orleans out of this yet. Um, there's a whole bunch of things this thing could do in Arkansas. You are not ruled out of this yet either. This thing could go northwest, hit Louisiana and southern Mississippi, and continue its northwest track. And that could bring a lot of heavy rain back to Arkansas with another tropical system nailing the Arkansas in a matter of a month or two. So there's a whole lot of things we still have to work out with this system. And this system, as it approaches into Arkansas, I mean, it could stall in Arkansas as well as a tropical depression. You know, this thing is going to be moving so slow, and um, and I think there's going to be very heavy rainfall with this system. Show y'all that right now. So with the 0Z that came out today, I'll show y'all what this thing. See what this thing does. So here's Beryl. I'm not Beryl. Likely to be Debby. Debby, our D name storm. You can see how it picks up almost like 20 to 30 inches of rainfall. It'll take these numbers seriously, but we're gonna have some heavy rainfall. As slow mover as this thing could do, this thing could dump at least 2 feet of rain if it stalls, and it stalls in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, and it's in the warm waters of the Gulf. So once it heads into the Gulf warm waters, it will rapidly intensify. There's not much wind shear in the way of this, so it's gonna gradually develop, rapidly intensify as it heads into the Gulf, and it's just gonna do 2 turns. It could go hit Florida where Ian went a year ago. Could go where the Panhandle of Florida where Michael went in 5 years ago, or it could go with southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi track where Katrina did in 2005. So there's a whole lot of things that this thing could do. I'm not gonna say I'm not going to say it's going to be a Cat 5 hurricane right now. I'm not going to say that right now. There's a potential this thing could be a low end Cat 1, Cat 2. That's what I think it would be. I think that's my forecast here is I think it'd be a strong end Cat 2, lower end Cat 3. But don't take that right now as a dead end spot. But the conditions in the Gulf are right for a strong end hurricane. So just keep an eye on the latest forecast from the storm prediction from the National Hurricane Center, your National Weather Service local offices, as they will know more. We will have hurricane hunters flying into the storm tomorrow morning, and we'll get another good detailed idea of what the storm could do, of what if the storm develops into Debby later on. Um, but let me go back to satellite view, and I will go here, and I will definitely show y'all why I think the storm is going to stall. So here's one of the reasons why I think it's going to stall. We have um, so I'm gonna play this. So we have too many things going on here. I know it looks confusing, but here's your area of interest. Here's your area of interest with could be likely be Debbie. Um, so we have a jet stream that's going somewhere. Zoom out of here. We have a jet stream that could somewhere go like this, and it could the dip in the jet stream. So we have a high pressure. Let me start out with this. So we have a high pressure centered over the center of the country like this. And that's what's bringing all the heat here into the central U.S. So like Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and the southeastern U.S. So so right around the high pressure there, you have a jet stream going somewhere like this right now. So you have low pressures riding along the ridge there, riding over that high pressure, and that's what's bringing severe weather into the Midwestern U.S. What I think this storm could do. So what I think this could do. So let's go here. So if we have Debbie coming in, and then we have the other jet stream that's coming in like this. If the jet stream dips a little to the north there, um, it's gonna turn Debbie further south. I have seen a further south track with Debbie, so it could go like somewhere like that. So once it just all depends on what the jet stream does. If the jet stream doesn't dip as much, then we could have a stalling situation, a hurricane in the Gulf, and then once the Bermuda high here in the Western Atlantic um, moves, wherever this thing moves to the east, to the west or east, this is gonna be a key factor to where likely Debbie will go, um, or potential Debbie will go. Um, so I know there's not a lot of weather enthusiasts out there saying Cat 5 hurricane, all that, and this could be a big problem. Yes, I think this is going to be a big problem to the U.S., but a Cat 5 right off the bat saying that, I do not agree with at all. It's a lie. Don't believe that at all. We just saying the conditions are right for rapidly intensification to occur. Um, but just keep an eye on it. It's starting to organize right now. Nothing to be worried about right now. We'll see what it does later tonight into tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow when the hurricane hunters send data back to the National Hurricane Center, and that will give us an idea of what the models will do. The models will have a good idea, a good depiction of what potential Debbie will do and where it will go. Um, but as of right now, Cat 5 hurricane is off the table. If the thing strengthens more than a Cat 1 and a Cat 5 happens, then we'll see. But the GFS model is just one model run. That is one model telling you, hey, it could stall and it could stall in the northern Gulf and be a Cat 5 hurricane on landfall. But the European model shows a lower end hurricane hitting the Florida coast and going back into the east, the western Atlantic, and make another landfall in the North Carolina coast. So there's a lot of models having a bad agreement on where the storm will go, which is a which is which is not surprising to any of us. But this year, I think the GFS model has nailed it. The GFS model has done a really good job. It nailed it with Beryl, and we'll see what it does with potential Debby. Um, so, so I would really itch y'all to follow local meteorologists, National Weather Service offices, the National Hurricane Center especially. Follow them, get the latest from them, and those weather enthusiasts y'all have out there that are y'all following and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying don't believe them, but they have their opinions. I have my opinions, and I think they don't go deep into what this thing does. So, um, of what future systems look like. So, follow your local meteorologists, National Weather Service offices, and National Hurricane Center. I'll have another live update later. But it's just a quick update on potential Debby, and I think it could be a hurricane later this week and to later next week. So I will catch y'all for another live stream later on today as I get more data in, and we'll go and see what satellite looks like later. So y'all have a great night, be safe, and stay tuned for more updates. Bye, y'all.